Welcome back to You're the Artist Studio. This is Joni, and we are going to paint our Christmas raccoon. So it's a pretty simple palette. It's white, it's black, it's red, it's light brown, and navy blue. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the background and a large 1-inch flat brush, and we're going to mix some white and navy and make a light blue. So we're just going to try and fade this blue. You don't have to make, the more texture technically you have in the background, the better. So don't worry about making smooth strokes. I'm going to go right directly into the white, because we want it to look like kind of a snowy background. And so it's best to do this blending the blue and the white while it's wet. We'll just put a little bit more on the lighter side over here. Just want it to look very winterish. Now we'll do the other side. Let's see here. My canvas is bouncing around a bit. I'm a little too dark over here. Come in on the sides, I'm a little bit darker. It's still a white and blue mix. You could technically just use a light blue, but what's the fun in that? I just like the actual color it makes with the navy blue. So I'm doing strokes that are like figure eights. I'm just throwing a bunch of white on there to lighten this up a little bit. And it's okay if you go over the painting a little bit. You'll be able to cover that up. It's going to be mostly dark colors anyway. Pretty much done with our background. We don't want to overwork the background because there's way too much stuff to do on the raccoon itself that you don't want to spend too much time. Just keep it simple. I'm just trying to lighten this area up a little bit. Okay, I am good with that. So now what I'm going to do is we're just going to go in the red, because I want this red to be dry, and there's stripes on the hat, but we're just going to paint it red and let that dry. It's easier to just do the white stripes over the red paint. It'll look fine. And although I could be using the 1-inch flat, I'm just using the medium brush because I'm going to have to move to that anyway when it gets up top. Okay. On the top of the hat, we're going to paint like a big fluff ball. It kind of disappears into the top, but you'll get the idea on the sides. Okay. So we want that to dry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into just a wee bit of black. Add just a little bit of black in here just so that it gives the hat a little bit of a dirty look, which, you know, it's a raccoon, so if you don't like it, we can paint over it. But let's see what it looks like towards the end. There's like a crease here. What I'm doing is I'm mixing some red and black together. So it's not straight black. I'm not stressing this too much. Just kind of randomly. I might randomly throw a little bit here. Okay. Now, we're going to kind of go into the black for some of this here. And we're going to paint the ears. And a lot of this might not make sense, but it'll all come together in the end, I promise. And I'm using the medium round brush for all this. So it's not really tricky, but we want to put this line of black. This is his fur, and it's going to be black up here. And I'm kind of making it so it comes in different, like fur. And keep in mind when you're painting this, which way the fur is going. As with most animal faces, it will kind of radiate this way from this being the center. So as you go around, you don't need so much down here. And we're just going to paint in his nose. Well, leading up to his nose. I'm going to paint his eye. I'm just trying to find all the black places for the most part, since I have black out. Now we're going to have a little outline around his eye. I want it to be pretty thin, not too thick. If you're not happy with your outline around the eye, you can always go back to it after it's dried and just go over it in white. So we're going to do kind of the same thing, where we're going to be pulling that black into where this band of white is. Let's see here. We've got a lot of face to cover here. I'm just making little strokes and lifting the brush, and so it makes it look kind of furry. We're going to fill this in too, but this is going to be layer upon layer, but it'll all be good. And that's why I said some of this might not make sense, things I'm doing. immediately, but they will in the end. So let's and I'm keeping this brush strokes going in the direction of the fur. I think everybody should name their raccoon. I'll have to think of, while I'm painting, I'll have to think of a name for mine. Not allowed to use Ricky. Ricky Raccoon is way overused. Alright, so I'm just about done with the face area. So you can see it looks kind of furry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix myself a gray with some white and some black. We don't want it to be a dark gray, so kind of light gray. Let me get a good color here. I'm going to need more white. I think that's even a little bit on the darker side. We're going to kind of fill this in. We don't have to be too careful because we're going to come back in with the white, and that will make the hairs. But this will give it the depth that it'll look like layers of fur. Is what we're going for. But we wanted all of this to dry. And it's okay, if we get some black in there, it's fine. We're also going to do the same for the ears. Well, we have gray on my brush. I'm just gonna bring some down here into the body. Although I really should have done here. To fix this a little bit. Alright, let's get some gray in here. I'm basically just laying colors down right now. We're going to come in, and that's all I want you to do if you're watching this for my class. It's just lay down the colors, get them down so we can come back in and do the details afterwards. Okay. I'm going to fix one little spot. I'm going to come use my detail brush because I haven't used that yet. I'm going to fix this little area in here. All right. You want to wait, let a lot of this dry. So. I'm going to take some of the black, but I've mixed it with a little bit of the gray. So it's not quite as black. So we'll dip into the black. So I'm waiting on this to dry. And do his edges. Again, be mindful of the way the fur is going. And the fur is going to be on both sides. So I wanted to make him look furry. Fluffy, furry, all that. So it's a lot of little strokes, just lifting the brush up. I'm going to do it going this way too. But yeah, we're just